Right, so let's bring in retired four-star General Jack Keane on what we need to know about that. Welcome, General.
Oh, delighted to be here.
Yeah. So do please tell us about this as we gather our own information on these Tomahawk cruise missiles first used in combat during the Persian Gulf War. I want to get your reaction to what we just heard there from the president about this.
Yeah, well, this is all about range here. We've given them HIMARS, which goes about 50 to 70 miles, ATACMS, which they don't have that many of, about 190 miles. But a lot of the targets that are doing so much damage to Ukraine are beyond those ranges for obvious reasons, because we've kind of created a sanctuary there for Russia, where their military systems that are doing so much damage inside Ukraine. And remember, Russia targets the civilian population primarily and energy infrastructure, which is an indirect way of attacking the civilian population, particularly with winter coming. So what am I talking about? Well, there's a Shahed drones, the killer drones that they fly, 500, 600 of them at a time. They're all coming from a manufacturing center called the Abaluga Manufacturing Center. It's got about 20,000 North Koreans that work there. It was developed by the Iranians. This is their drone, their killer drone that they developed, and we can't reach it. But a Tomahawk missile, which goes over 1,000 miles, can reach it. Also, the bombers that are doing so much damage, what Putin has done from the outset of the war, he uses air and sea-launched cruise missiles, the equivalent of our Tomahawks, from the beginning of the war. He has used hypersonic cruise missiles from the beginning of the war. And he's also using intermediate range ballistic missiles that have the same multiple warhead that a nuclear bomb would have. And he's began using those from the beginning of the war. And now what the Ukrainians want to do is kind of square the deal a little bit and be able to reach the sources that are doing so much damage to them. That's what this is about. It's about a range of weapon to break down the sanctuary that Russia has. And does it make any sense in war to give the adversary who invaded your country a sanctuary where they can protect themselves from any attack whatsoever that's consequential to them? Makes no sense. And that is why Zelenskyy is requesting this particular missile. Now, we have air and sea launch missiles. The American people have seen these ever since the Gulf War back in 1990. And we use it in just about every conflict. We just used them in the Middle East quite a bit to assist the Israelis. And what needs to be employed here, the Ukrainians don't have an air capability to launch a cruise missile, and they don't have a sea capability to launch it either. So we have to give them ground-launched Tomahawk missiles, and the Army calls that Typhoon. And they are actually placed in a shipping container. I've seen this. It's pretty imaginative. Now, we've never used this ground launch system before, but we're designing this. We have them in the Pacific for obvious reasons, major threat in the Pacific. And we want to have missiles on land, not just at sea and just in the air, but it also would be designed here and be perfect for their use. They're in about a 40-foot shipping container, and the top flips up, and there's 4 launchers there with 4 missiles. Pretty imaginative idea. So that's what's at play here. And what would Ukraine do? To emphasize again to our viewers, they're not going to attack any civilian targets. They're not going to attack a population center like Moscow. The people are wringing their hands saying this is an expansion of the war. This is a military escalation, much like we did in the Middle East. To what? To end the war. Yeah. The motivation here is not to protract the war, it's to end it.
Yeah. Got it. We hear you for their long range, obviously, and accuracy, as we have seen when they are used, and notable lower cost than piloted warplanes. We always appreciate when you can join us, General. Thank you very much.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.